the power of customer or audience segmentation. Segmenting is one of the most powerful tools in a company's kit. Customer or audience segmentation is exactly what it sounds like, dividing your market or your audience into smaller subgroups based on some sort of shared characteristics. And this doesn't have to be super technical or hard to do. The characteristics you use to segment your audience can be anything. They can be demographic, like age, relationship status, location, or psychographic or behavioral, like a personality type that is risk-averse and loves to plan versus free-spirited experimenters. I cannot say enough good things about audience segmentation. It helps focus marketing efforts and can uncover all sorts of growth, revenue, and even corporate strategy insights. But many early-stage startups don't do this valuable exercise in earnest. According to LinkedIn user Anna Holopainen, a growth expert at an edtech startup out of Finland, quote, most early-stage pre-PMF startups with no or low-touch funnels start segmenting their users way too late. PSA break. Let's unpack some of those phrases, shall we? In startup land, quote-unquote growth roles typically straddle marketing, sales, and product dev. Their aim is what it sounds like, grow revenue, and thus the company. PMF, as most of you will know, stands for Product Market Fit. That refers to that oh-so-desirable scenario of operating in a healthy market with a product or service that satisfies customer demand. Sometimes only one half of that sentence is the case. You might operate in a very healthy market, but your product or service doesn't satisfy the demand. Or you might have a brilliant product or service that actually does satisfy demand. It's just the market's not healthy or too small. Ideally, you want both. That's PMF. Now in marketing, a quote-unquote funnel is just a model or a system of blueprinting out your customer's ideal journey, from never having heard of you to enthusiastic and loyal customer. A quote high-touch funnel would be one that relies on a lot of human involvement. Picture junior salespeople manually reaching out to hundreds of leads and then sending the most promising ones to talented senior salespeople for them to demo the product and hopefully seal the deal. A low-touch funnel essentially tries to do the same set of actions, just without the humans. Picture an engaging, well-designed, well-written, likable survey that leads to an equally well-written series of likable emails that push recipients to an engaging and enjoyable demo video. And then, of course, a compelling or high-value sales offer. But there's a problem here. Many early-stage startups struggle with all of this, especially that first part, segmentation. They shouldn't. According to Anna's great LinkedIn post, a lot of startups often think it doesn't pay off to segment. After all, she writes, they might not have identified meaningful user group characteristics yet. That would probably make segmentation feel like a bit of a random guessing game. So, Anna's point, embrace that. When startups are not sure yet what makes a good customer, they have to look for some, or literally any, meaningful patterns. Founders and startup marketers, don't fight the fact that at this point, it's going to be more art than science. Recognize that, as Anna writes, you might have to change your segmentation criteria multiple times. That's okay. Marketing is a living, breathing thing that does and should always morph shapes and shift directions. Okay, so where to start with all this, and what's the point here? Start segmenting simply. Really, keep it as basic as location, category sophistication, or what they've bought from you already. Anna's edtech startup, quote, started categorizing their users by country, by role or grade level, like preschool teacher or homeschooling parent. Remember, they're an edtech startup. Or by plan, freemium or paid business yearly or paid individual yearly, etc. Doing that uncovered a few interesting country-by-country trends, including ones that Anna's company couldn't even explain. As she put it, though, that's not a bad thing, but rather an excellent starting point for further qualitative investigation. That just means customer interviews. Bottom line, a segmentation project is one of the most powerful levers a startup can use to achieve PMF. It's also one of my marketing consultancy's most recommended projects, and one we love talking about. Interested in more? Find me on LinkedIn. It's John Callis, JONKALLUS, and send me a DM. This has been a Deep Fate from Fate vs. Future. Deep Fates are our name for a deeper look at a current story in culture, tech, business, Web3, travel, fashion, and more. We do it every issue to keep you on top faster. Want this in your email? Subscribe to Fate vs. Future at 10xsmarter.com. That's 10xsmarter.com. I'm John Callis. This is Fate vs. Futurecast. Thank you for listening.